Out of bounds, we are talking about the Euro Cup 2020 knockout stages coming up this weekend. I'm Adam. As always, I'm joined with Junior. Junior, are you ready?
Let's go!
All right. Okay, Junior, initial thoughts on Euro Cup, the first grouping, maybe a high and a low?
I think the group stage went exactly the way I think a lot of people saw it going. I don't think there were a lot of surprises in terms of kind of this. Well, I guess the seeding was more of a surprise. Italy looked great. They didn't concede. England scored 2 goals in the group stage. Spain had a very underwhelming start. And if it wasn't for that big goal outburst in that last game that really didn't mean much, they would have had a very low goal total right now. So I think for me, I'd say Italy, just the way they've played, they've looked very dominant. They did have a weak group, so don't get too excited about their chances here. They do have a very strong game coming up against a strong team in Austria. But I also think that Denmark was a huge surprise for me. After losing Eriksson the way they did, they kind of rallied around it, and they got in there. So we'll see how prime they are for a long march. They do have a good first kind of game in the knockout form. So and then I think my biggest shock would just be Spain. They just played really underwhelming for me. I expected a lot more out of them. And when you looked at their top goal scorers, got 1 goal, but all the other stats are where they need to be in terms of that possession game they play. But expected more from Spain.
I'm in a similar position. My low was I expected more from Spain. I didn't think, obviously, I'm rocking the jersey here, so I'm a big Spain supporter. But they just, I'm not a fan of the long possession game. I understand that you got to control the ball in soccer, especially if you go up. But those first 2 draws just didn't move the needle for me, and it's a little disappointing. And sure, they scored 5 goals, and I started thinking, were they just kind of holding back? They don't want to reveal all their cards in this tournament. It's hard to say. I don't know that is the case, but we'll definitely find out come the second round knockout. And then the other part, I'm going to agree there on the Italy side of things. I expected them to do well and play well. And yes, they didn't have a very tough group, but I really like them. I think they're going to go far in this tournament. We'll see. So we're going to break down each of the games. So we got a total of 8 games. So we're going to go through those. We're going to give you some stats, and then ultimately we'll give you our pick for each of those games. So let's pull up the first one here. And why don't you go through this here for us, Junior?
Yeah, so we have Wales. They finished 1 across the board. Only had 3 goals. Corners were kind of mid of the range. Their distribution was very, very low in terms of their passing accuracy and the possession numbers, not having the ball a lot. Usually they're playing behind or without the ball. Defending, their recovered balls at under 100 and the tackles at about 30. I mean, that's kind of low for me. They didn't have a whole lot of attacking in their game, but their goalkeeper was busy. I mean, 14 shots, only conceding 2 goals. And then, they only had 26 tackles called for a foul against them, where they pulled 40 fouls out of their bag. And then when you look at Denmark here, 5 goals, their distribution numbers were a bit better, 84% passing accuracy, and then the 57% in terms of the possession numbers. I like their attacking numbers a lot better. However, their goalkeeping numbers don't look that good. 3 shots and 4 conceded goals. That can be a bit of an issue there. But you're looking at Denmark. They're riding an emotional high here. They're a minus $1.25, where you've got Wales that are a plus 400 in this game. Here, I'm going to expect Poulsen is going to be in on goals. He's got 2 of the 5, so I can expect the offense is going to be going through him. And then on the other side, Wales, I mean, they've been underwhelming. They were underwhelming in the group stage. They kind of just squeaked through with the win and the draw. But I think this is where the ride stops for Wales.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that as well. Wales didn't really impress me a lot. I definitely like Denmark's story, and I like them just in general. So I'd like to see them go through here at the favorite at minus 125.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move over to Italy and Austria. And we got Italy favored here at 223, and then Austria going off at a plus 700.
Yeah, as to be expected here. I mean, when you look at goal scoring, the corner numbers are massive.
Yeah.
Defending, they haven't had to do much of that because they had the ball almost 60% of the time, and then their passing accuracy a bit under 90. They've had 60 shots on net, but only 17 on target. So they're going to have to tidy that up a bit and get a lot of shots on this goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Their goalkeeper has not been busy. And the one thing that I like about a team is that they've got a goalkeeper with at least 5-6 shots in the group stages without conceding a goal.
Mm-hmm.
This just tells you how dominant that Italy has been on the ball, that there's only been 2 shots that their keepers had to stop.
Yeah.
They are a forcing attack, 169 attacks through those 3 games. And then their fouls for and against are their fouls and tackles won are kind of the same at 32. Then you look at Austria. They're also an attacking team. Their distribution numbers are very similar to Italy. The attempts are a bit less, but they've almost had the same amount of shots on target with half, the looks. Their defending is a bit stronger. 152 balls recovered, 43 tackles won. I think that Italy might have some trouble with this game. Austria is built from the back out, and they've got a very strong 4-man wall at the back there. And I think that Italy's going to have to press a lot. They're going to have to hold the ball over 60% in this game.
Wow.
To really start dominating it. And I think it's going to be a close one. I don't think that this is going to be a blowout at all. I do like Immobile to score, though. He has been, a large part of that Italian offense.
Yeah.
And then Austria, they don't have a whole lot of goal production with only 4 in 3 games. But Baumgartner seems to be the guy who's got that magic in his foot. But, I mean, it's hard for me to go against the Azzurri here. So, I have to take them. But I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people think.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see this game going the same way necessarily. I don't think they're going to blow them out, but I think it'll be close, maybe a 2-1, something like that. But I do see Italy going through. I mean, they have momentum on their side, and I think I still think they have some more to show us also. So
no, I definitely think they do. It's just they're coming out of a very weak group.
Agreed. Their competitors have not been up to
Yeah.
scratch, and they're going to see obviously some stiff competition as we continue through this tournament.
Where I think Austria's been a little more battle tested than Italy has to this point.
Yeah, there's definitely been some challenges and hurdles that they've had to overcome a little bit more so. Okay, let's take a look at Netherlands versus the Czech Republic. And we got Netherlands going off at minus 154 and the Czech Republic going at a plus 425. Netherlands 1-3, and then you got 1-1-1 for Czech Republic there.
Yeah, you look at the attempts on net here, 46. 16 on target, but 46 shots compared to 28 from the Czech Republic and only 9 on target.
Mm-hmm.
3 of those came off the foot of Schick, who is the only man on this Czech Republic side who's actually scored this tournament. Goalkeeping, he's been tested a little bit, 9 saves, 2 conceded.
Yeah.
Their attacking is decent, but the Dutch have a bit more of an attack here than not. And the Dutch play very disciplined. They've only had 1 card, and their defending is 155 and 33, so they've won a lot of balls back. So they tend to work with their speed and kind of build from there. They don't take a lot of chances in terms of their defensive responsibilities.
Yeah.
The corner numbers are good. They're even good for the Czech Republic. When the Czechs do get going, they have some length and some speed up front where they can cause some issues. But for me here, I just think that the Dutch when you look back at the original preview we had, I really felt the Dutch were primed. They've been missing from a few tournaments now. There's been a bit of an upheaval in terms of their system, and they've got a lot of youth right now, like Memphis Depay, and Wijnaldum, who've got, I think, 3 goals for Wijnaldum and 2 for Memphis. So they've been the big charge for them, and I just see this another Dutch rolling.
Yeah, I got to agree with you here. I don't see them losing this game. I think there's more to see from the Dutch, and I like seeing the Flying Dutchman here. So let's keep them rolling, and let's keep them going, because I definitely want to see them in the round of 8. So let's move on to which could be maybe the best game possibly of this second round, in my opinion anyways, which is the Belgium Portugal game. I think these guys
Yeah.
have the ability to put up some very interesting competition amongst the two teams. Belgium is the favorite here at plus 140 and then plus 200 for Portugal. Bit different on the wins, draws, and losses, though. You got 3 wins for Belgium, and it's 1-1 and 1 for Portugal.
Yeah, you also have to remember Portugal's coming out of the group of death, right? They had Germany and France with them. Very strong competition, and that Hungary game kind of went down the wire before they had 3 late ones.
It was close.
It's kind of tough to say that Portugal aren't in this because they do have Ronaldo, who's leading the Golden Boot charge right now with 5 goals in his bag. But the Belgians have just looked so good. I mean, they're passing almost 90%. They're controlling the ball almost 60% of the time in terms of their possession numbers. 119 recoveries. Their discipline is down. Their attacking is up. Goalkeepers only had 1 conceded goal, 7 stops.
Unreal.
Cards are down. This is a team that is very disciplined. They do not go out of their way to do things that get them in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Lukaku has looked great. De Bruyne, who came in halfway through the game, has looked absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then on the Portuguese side, Ronaldo's been, gifted a few PKs I think they call him Ronaldo PK or whatever the nickname that's going around at Howden, because this guy's always taking the PKs.
He doesn't miss them. I mean,
he doesn't. Not often.
And now he's officially tied for most international goals.
Yeah. So I mean, that's that one thing. I mean, I would be very quick to say that Belgium's just going to roll over them. I think they've got the speed, the strength, the tactics. This is just a team. I mean, they're the number 1 in the world for a reason right now. It's a small country, but they've got the best team out there. Yeah. But it's that Ronaldo factor. That's all you need is that guy, and he's going to keep you in a game.
Absolutely.
But I could see this getting messy, almost like how the Portuguese played Germany. I mean, Germany 2 own goals, and Germany just pounded them. And the Belgians are big, and their guys up front are big. Lukaku is a big problem. If you've got small defensive backs, you're talking about a guy who's like 6'3", 240.
And you got De Bruyne. You got De Bruyne too, right? I mean, this guy just runs.
Yeah,
he just runs the show nicely.
He's been magical. So for me, I mean, I personally, I would have to take the Belgians, but I think Portugal might have a surprise left in them. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a really, really tough one for me. I think I got to go with Belgium as well on this one and hope for a good game. I'd like to see Portugal go through, but without those PKs, which have happened, they might not be here, right? So it's just tough. They haven't been as solid as Belgium has, and I got to go with just who looks just like a brick wall. So yeah, I'm going to go with Belgium here. Okay, let's switch over. While we're just doing that, if you guys want to help grow our channel, the easiest way to do that is just to hit the like button below. If you want to comment what your thoughts are, we certainly love to respond to those and possibly address them in a future show. And then obviously we'd love to have you a part of the channel. So please hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on because we're live all the time. Okay, so let's take a look at these next matchups here. We got Croatia versus Spain. So Spain is the favorite here at 167, despite only scoring 5 goals really at the end. And then they tied 1-1 and 0-0 in the first game. And then Croatia going off at a plus 500. So it's 1-1 and 1 for Croatia, and then 1-2-0 for Spain.
If I'm Croatian, I'm looking at that plus 500 as a little bit of disrespect.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of talent on this team.
It's a good team.
They had a bit of a rough, shaky start. They haven't looked overly polished, I would say. But Perisic has looked good. And I think if anything that soccer has taught us, football has taught us, is that Modric can just turn it on whenever the hell he wants.
Absolutely.
So I think a lot of these teams that are trying to be smart and cheeky are kind of holding everything till the knockouts. So I think you might see a bit of a different animal out of the Croatians in this game. The corners have been low. Defending's decent. Attempts are good. Distribution is good for a team that's won across the board. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, and they still controlled about 54% of the possession game. The attacks are a little bit low for a team that likes to score goals in the Croatians. And then the disciplinary aspect of this, 32 for, 32 against. And then the goalkeeping, three conceded off of 5 saves. And then when you go down to the Spanish, you look at almost 70% of the possession.
It was like 85 in the first game.
The goalies had 1 shot and he's conceded 1 goal. Their attacks are ridiculous. They're over 200, but I think a lot of it had to do with that last game because they were just constant. They were all over them.
Yeah.
Their attempts, they're almost 50%. So, when you're looking at attempts at 45 and your on-shot targets are almost 50%, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And then only 1 card and the corners are at 20. So, again, that last game that they had kind of padded these stats to make them look like this overwhelming juggernaut that just hasn't awoken yet. I don't know if they poured out all the offense they had in their wine bags last game or if they've got more to show. Here, I think that this is probably going to be a Spanish win. But I wouldn't shy away from saying that we might see some magic out of Croatia. Either whether it's Perisic who's going to pot another one who's had half their goals so far this tournament, or Modric just wakes up and says, you know what, I'm done fooling around. Let's get this done. So
yeah,
but I still think the Spaniards come out on top.
Yeah, I want to see Spain go through here, and I'm going to say that they're going to go through. But what I don't want to see is them hold the ball most of the game and not have that opportunity to actually create a rush, because that's what I didn't see in that first game.
No urgency.
There's just no counter. There's no fluidity on that counter if you're holding the ball for 85% of the game. So I don't think that's going to be the type of game that they're going to play, especially I don't think Croatia's going to let them play that game anyways.
Now, do you think it's a lack of talent? I mean, because I remember the Spanish teams when they had David Villa.
These are different guys. These are different breeds, right?
Do they not have that legitimate upfront world class striker? Are they missing that?
Yeah, they don't, and they don't have that midfield that you had in Xavi and Alonso and Iniesta. I mean, these guys were artists, right? Yeah. And they all kind of worked in harmony together. It was like a well-constructed ballet, the way that these guys won, Euro, World Cup, Euro, in a 6-year span. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is just not the case now. I'm not getting what I want out of Morata, and he's got to do more.
Yeah, I mean, 1 goal.
It's just not enough. I mean, you can't be that guy on this team. There's expectations that the Spanish fans have, and you need to push a little bit harder. Yeah. And granted, 5 goals in the last game, that's great. But, I mean, this is a different team. Croatia is going to be a problem for them.
I think so.
So I hope they can pull through. But, I mean, this to me almost is really a coin flip, and it's pretty disrespectful, I think, to have Croatia at plus 500.
Yeah, this could be a 2-2 go to PKs. Like, that's how close I think this game could be.
I was thinking that before you mentioned that just now. So it's very possible. Okay, let's look at France and Switzerland. France, the favorite here at 188, and then plus 600 for Switzerland. France 1, drew 2, and then it's 1-1 and 1 for this Spice.
But look how close these numbers are.
Yeah.
France was odds-on favorite to roll through this tournament.
The fact that they drew Hungary was that was mind-blowing for me.
Yeah, that was a $1,500 mind-blowing for me.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Keep bringing it up.
I'm sorry.
Keep bringing it up. Anyway, I'm going to tell you something here, man.
This has the potential. Now, are you chalking this up to the inner turmoil within the team?
Not only that, but the Swiss have this weird knack of upsetting big teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the one thing that we said in the preview is if the Swiss are going to be good, you're going to hear Shaqiri a lot. And you've heard Shaqiri a lot. He's got 2 goals.
Yep.
He's got half their goal production. And Xhaka's right there with him. And they've both looked really good. But to see that these numbers are so close, it's kind of mind-boggling. You haven't heard a whole lot from Mbappe. You haven't heard a whole lot from Griezmann, and Benzema's their leading scorer. I don't think that's the necessarily the recipe for a French kind of dominance to have Karim Benzema being your leading scorer.
No,
especially with the speed and the skill you've got midfield up. Lloris has looked okay. He's conceded 3 goals, but he's also stopped 6 shots. But when you look at the attempts, the Swiss like to shoot the ball, and not just from in close in the box, but from distance. They like to let it loose, like they're archers. Like they'll take a shot, 25, 30 feet out. They don't have a problem with that.
Yep.
And they've had 15 on target, so they've taken more shots. Number one, they've been more on target. Number two, their defending is stronger. Their attacking is very similar. They also have drawn more penalties than they've given up. 54%, 51%, both at about 89, 90% in terms of their passing accuracy. I was just
trying to look up Griezmann. I wanted to see what his goal production was in the World Cup when they pulled off that. He won the silver boot. I'm not able to just quickly find the exact number of goals that he had, but he had the silver boot as France's leading scorer. And that's what they're going to need in this tournament to be successful. You need these guys to get rolling and the production to start happening, right?
But the one thing that you can see is that more shots on target are going to yield more corners. The Swiss had 22 corners. The French had 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I put an early, very, very early bet on France to win the Euro. Pretty sizable bet, actually. But I don't know if they escape this game. I don't know. Like I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but at a plus 600, when these teams look very on even kilter, and the Swiss have this history of upsetting teams. In fact, I think they upset the French before, if I'm not mistaken. I'm on a fence here. Like I can't come out and be like, yeah, it's the French.
I'm just trying to see who they play.
I'm literally on a
so they play the
right now.
They play the winner of Spain, Croatia. So that's interesting.
But unless the French were just kind of playing coy and just trying to get through the group stage as quickly and as efficiently as possible, and now they're going to turn it on.
Let's see.
I don't know.
We'll
I have to take the French just because
it's just so lopsided. But I mean, hey, maybe throw a few bucks on Swiss on the ticket there.
I'll play that, yeah, for sure.
All right. I think this is probably the other game that I think is probably, I was saying the Portugal Belgium game, but this game is going to be something to watch.
This is the game.
Look at it here. I mean, England just slightly 150 and then 190 for Germany, and then you got England with 2 wins and a draw and 1-1-1 across the board for Germany. Although they look very good for me.
Their passing accuracy is almost 90%. Their possession is over 60%. Their attacking the numbers are massive. Their defending, the numbers are far outweighing those of the 3 lines. The corners far outweighing. And the funny thing is in the infancy of this tournament before it started, England were, I think, the second shortest odds to win Euro. They don't look like it, to be honest with you. I mean, okay, they didn't concede in the first round, but 2 goals, both from Sterling.
Yeah,
there's no production. Look at how low the corners are.
Yeah, it's very low.
22 shots and 5 on target. I don't know. And this just goes back to Southgate and his tactics. He does not let this team run. He runs them into a brick wall. There's so much talent on this team, and he does not let them flow.
Is that on purpose, though? Is there a strategy behind this, right? Are they going to let loose in this game? Because let me tell you, I think Germany's going to come on. They're going to score some goals in this game. That's for sure.
And these are the spots that the Germans like to be in. Specifically, Timo Werner. He loves to be in spots like this. These are the games that this guy shines in. Not to mention that Havertz has looked very, very, very good. They have looked very strong for a young team that out the gate, weren't expected to do much because they were young. Tony Cruz has looked pretty decent. I mean, he's been contributing. I don't know. At a plus 190, it's a real sexy number for me. You're almost getting a 2-1 kind of group on the Germans here, and
I mean, I'm thinking Germany. I'm thinking Germany's going to go through here. To be honest, I think they're going to score some goals, and the offense is just going to be humming.
Deutschland.
Yeah,
that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of English fans that won't be happy about that, but
I'm sorry.
Okay, Sweden, Ukraine. You got Sweden here just barely 150, and then 190 for Ukraine. Sweden 2 wins and a draw, and Ukraine with a win and 2 losses.
Yeah, the Swedes looked good. I mean, obviously not a real big hefty group to kind of escape from. Yeah, they looked good doing it though. That last game, the Polish really had them kind of behind the lines, and I actually had bet on a draw that game between Poland and Sweden, and they were drawn until I think the 91st or 92nd minute when I started swearing at the TV because they didn't draw. But that's football for you, right? I'm kind of used to it by now. These teams, I think they're very kind of evenly matched, just in terms of their numbers and the way they've looked so far this tournament. So, I mean, the next logical source for me to go is it's a bit of a weird aspect, but what country has the most attractive women?
Oh,
that's where I break it down, and I'm still at a stalemate here because that doesn't help.
So what's the third factor then, Junior?
Goals, and it's tied, and then after that, it's possession, and Sweden doesn't have it, nor do they have the passing accuracy. So that's the one thing that I look at right there. Under 70% passing accuracy, under 40% possession, which tells you that they give up the ball a lot. Bad passing. Yeah. And when you get in that final third and you one bad pass, that's a guy wide open into a yawning net. Yeah. However, I think the Swedes are going to clean it up this game, and I like that price of 150. So give me the Swedes in this game.
Yeah, this one's a tough one for me. I kind of see them very, very matched up quite well, although the numbers kind of show a little bit of a different story. Because we're in Canada and Toronto, and there's a big Ukrainian population, I'm gonna give it to the Ukrainians. Let's get the Ukrainians in there. Because I do like Sweden though. Sweden is a good team. I think they're very underestimated coming into this tournament, but.
Yeah, I remember all the Yuki Fests in Blue or West.
Love them. Miss those. Miss those. They'll be back next year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps it up, I guess, for us. Any final thoughts on this knockout stage?
Yeah. If you want to stick around, I've actually got a big heater coming in hot on bets. It's a goal-scoring parlay ticket for this next round, the round of 16, with a payout on a $1 bet that is huge. So stick around for bets.
All right. So stick around.
I like Belgium. I'm still liking them, and I think that they're primed. And the Dutch, I mean, there's been some great football to this point. Yeah. I'm where I am. There's a huge Italian contingent, and as there is everywhere in Toronto.
Absolutely.
It's the celebrations are great. You love hopping on Instagram and seeing all these people just going absolutely mental. Yes. So I like this time of year, and it just shows you how multicultural we are, that these celebrations happen over here, not just in their home origins, right?
It's honking all day long, right?
All day, every day.
Honking all the time. Well, yeah. No, I love. I really like Belgium. I really like Germany, and I really like Italy. I think those are my top 3 teams that I'm really keeping a close eye on. Of course, I'm supporting Spain, but I don't know if they have it in the bag this year. But we'll see. Maybe something can turn the point there. All right. Well, awesome. Well, look, again, just a quick reminder for everybody, easiest way to easiest way to grow our channel is just to hit that like button. So please do that below. It's also the easiest thing that you can do for us. Please comment below. Let us know what you think. What teams are you supporting? What teams are you liking? What teams are you not liking? And then join our channel because we really want to have you, and turn those notifications on because we're live all the time. We're going to be live right now again with bets. So please tune into that. For everybody here at Offside and Abounds, I'm Adam.
I'm Junior. See
ya
real soon.